New Day rocks.
Yep,
New Day rocks. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. Episode 15 of the Smacktalking Amigos.
Yeah, with me, Kean Davidson.
And me, James Bernard. Hashtag
Smacktalking Amigos.
at Talking Smack. We are, of course, the Smacktalking Amigos.
Yeah,
And
it's a new day today.
it's a new day today, and it was a new day on Raw. First thing we have to say, of course, is the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions since Demolition.
Yep,
and
since
of all
Demolition.
time now.
Yeah, of all time. Over the last year and a half, whatever it's been, they've been fantastic. They've been the out and out best tag team.
For me, although they seemed as if they were getting a little bit stale, they're the best tag team that's in the business.
Yeah, they are. No question about that. We yet to really see the Riot family.
And we didn't see them turn up this week at Total Non-Stop.
No.
Deletion. I would like to see the opposing chance of New Day rocks and delete.
Yeah.
Delete. But we'll talk about that a bit later. So Raw was very good this week, but it focused around the New Day.
Yeah, it focused around the New Day. They obviously had the tag team title match against Cesaro and Sheamus. They won. They had a little celebration afterwards.
An impressive Cesaro and Sheamus again.
Very impressive. I think they run a tribute to the troops this past Wednesday, so they'll be challenging for the tag team titles at Roadblock.
And they should be. For me, we've said for a number of weeks it would be nice to see Cesaro and Sheamus. We forget that Gallows and Anderson were also in that match. There was one point in the match where Cesaro just lost his mind a bit and jumped out of the ring and took out practically everybody in one fell swoop. I think they look very good together, Cesaro and Sheamus.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, Cesaro is probably the most underrated WWE wrestler on the roster, apart from maybe Sami Zayn at the moment, and we'll go on to that a little bit later. But with him and Sheamus, this is the Sheamus I like to see. I didn't like his gimmick of the Afadi gimmick. I like this gimmick.
For me, I think Sheamus at the moment is not taking any shit.
No.
And he's being, the proper Sheamus that we want to see. And Cesaro complements him perfectly. So we saw the New Day pick up the victory there.
Yeah. Very
nice victory. We then see the celebration party. Everybody's there. Plenty of jobbers.
Yeah.
But also plenty of wrestlers around there. And of course, Stephanie McMahon's there, who I know would be my first invite to a party. If I was going to have a fantasy party, it would be me, Stephanie McMahon, David Attenborough, Bear Grylls.
Okay.
And you.
Oh, thank you. You can't forget me.
No.
I choose you too.
Just me?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And obviously she got soaked in champagne.
She got soaked in bootios.
Yeah, bootios and champagne.
They make sure
you ain't booty.
You ain't booty. And of course, Stephanie was never going to be delighted about that, was she?
No. She's the princess of WWE. She said that New Day have to defend the titles against KO and Chris Jericho, Jerry Show. No, not KO, Jericho.
Kerry Joe Show.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it is. So
we see the Rollins report a bit later, and who should come out, of course, other than your man Roman Reigns, and they get inserted into the match. And now we've got the Shield, Jericho Shoko, and the New Day. Now, for me, I thought, and you thought, that we were going to see.
I thought I was going
the Shield.
Yeah, the Shield
as champions. You've hoped it for so long.
I've hoped it for so long, but I have to just wait that little bit longer. Unfortunately, all Shield fans out there, it's edging ever closer though.
It is. The reunion is edging ever closer. So we see the match. For me, at one point, it looks as if the New Day are gonna lose. Fortunately, they pick up the victory, and the New Day are now the longest reigning WWE champions. Well done, New Day. We're very, very impressed. First 5 minutes spent as they should be on the New Day. the other really big talking point of Raw for me, definitely Sami Zayn.
Yeah, Sami Zayn, best Mick Foley segment since he's come back as the GM.
I agree with you. We thought that Sami was really going to leave for SmackDown, and we speculated who could be leaving for.
Yeah.
There were a few wrestlers we've spotted. We talked about Dean Ambrose perhaps coming over to Raw to reunite the Shield. We've talked about some other wrestlers as well. But what we ended up seeing was Mick Foley turning around to Sami and saying, I picked someone of equal or greater value to you, and that is
Eva Marie. And in what God's earth is Eva Marie even as talented as, well, me? I'm probably a more talented wrestler than her.
You are a more talented wrestler than her, but she looks a darn sight better than you.
Yeah, I just haven't got the looks. I just haven't gone through cosmetic surgery.
Well, and you haven't got the red hair
But
to go with her. You will be getting that, I hope. But he says to Sami, and Sami loses his marbles over this, as you would expect him to do. Did you expect to see that trade happening, or did you think it was a swerve? Because I thought it was going to happen for a second.
I thought it was actually going to happen. I thought Sami Zayn would actually go over to SmackDown for maybe Dean Ambrose or The Miz or Dolph Ziggler.
And then they have the face-off between them. We find out that Foley was only lying. He wants to see the fire in Sami Zayn for him to face Braun Strowman in a 10-minute time limit match this week, which we will predict a bit later. We also saw Braun earlier in the night for facing against Curtis Axel, the Axeman, and annihilating him.
To be fair, Braun Strowman can annihilate anyone.
He's got this new version of, it's almost like an Alabama Slam, a backwards version, which he seems to be using as a finisher now. I can't quite figure out what his finisher is. Is it the reverse powerbomb? Is it the that flying kick he does, or is it this? It's devastating. He threw Curtis Axel around, who's not a small guy, remember?
Yeah.
Like he was a kid.
Yeah, but Braun Strowman is 350 pounds. Curtis Axel is about 190 right through. So Braun Strowman will do that to anyone.
To any wrestler. And he absolutely annihilated Curtis.
Yes.
So we've got to be...
We were talking in the week about, I think, this reminds me of a similar path they were going down with Ryback. They made him look unbeatable, but I think Braun Strowman would have just made Ryback look like mincemeat.
We've spoken about it. If they put them next to each other, and we've watched Ryback in the Indies since he's left WWE, Braun would dwarf Ryback. I mean, Ryback would look tiny. We've seen Ryback again, stand up against Lesnar and look tiny. Yeah. Now Braun makes Lesnar look small.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah. But Lesnar's just a jacked up right guy, as he found out yesterday by USADA.
Let's take a second to talk about this. So Lesnar gets a fine for being on the juice for UFC.
Yeah.
Against, who was he fighting?
Mark Hunt.
Who he destroyed.
Who, I wouldn't say destroyed, he was in control of the fight the whole 15 minutes of it. He never had to leave first gear.
But he was on the juice. What does that mean for WWE? Because if you look at someone like Randy Orton, who's received 2 bans from the WWE, you look at someone like even Roman Reigns, who's received a ban very recently from WWE. Do they ban Brock Lesnar for a little bit for this injunction, or is he too big a star for them to ban? Because for me, that's what it seems like.
This is a difficult one for me because I think most of the WWE guys are on juice. I think Brock Lesnar easily on juice. You would have had to have been blind before UFC 200 to not think he was on juice. He was in unbelievable shape. Even going into SummerSlam, he still had that shape. He was unbelievable. I think John Cena's on juice. I don't think that's natural. I am a big John Cena fan. I'm a big Roman Reigns fan. I'm a big even Ryback, I don't think was natural.
They can always take something to enhance rather than it being juice. I mean, I imagine that they're probably on every protein, and the doctors are probably...
Yeah, they are. They might be on steroids, but they're taking legal steroids.
What about The Rock?
The Rock is another one who I think is taking legal steroids.
Which is fine, but Brock was taking illegal steroids.
But that's it. The UFC banned legal or illegal. The UFC's report for medication is you can't get through it. If you take a paracetamol, you'll get banned. If you take a Lemsip, if you've got a cold, you'll get banned.
Well, they have fined him $250,000
and suspended him for a year.
Suspended him for 1 year. Now the year thing isn't a problem because I don't think Brock would afford that for another year. I think he's a speciality attraction, and when he comes back, they will do the best buy rate.
He will come back. He will fight one more time at maybe 250,
and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. He doesn't need anything else.
No.
You know, 250 will be a big show. We'll probably see Ronda there. We might see McGregor there if he's still around.
Yeah.
And we'll see Brock.
Yeah.
And that'll be huge.
Yeah, 250 will be the biggest selling. So he was never going to come back full time. Whether.
And what does he need to come back for 238 or 241? You know, he doesn't need that.
He just wants. He's a prize fighter.
He wants payday.
Yeah, he just wants a payday. So go to 250. What he's in about 2.5 years, I think.
So we've almost come towards the end of Raw. Not really too much continuation with the women's match. We do know that we do have an Iron Women's match coming up, which will be fantastic. I think that the women's division is looking stronger on SmackDown. I think they've taken time to allow that division to grow, and you've seen Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack talk about how impressed he is with Alexa Bliss being champion, and how he's impressed with Carmella and Nikki as well.
I think Raw have focused so much on Charlotte and Sasha that they've been able to build a division around them. Whereas if they just went through Sasha winning and then feuded with Bayley or Dana,
and then Jax, and so on and so forth,
you wouldn't be in this strong point. But with the imminent debut of Emelina coming,
who is a re-debut, but they branded it very well.
Yeah.
Very well, much better than her.
Yeah.
This thing, because I think, you know, I'm a Hugger works for Bayley.
Yeah.
Because she's naturally so likable. I don't think it worked for Emma when she was with Santino. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
I see Tina can get most people over.
Yeah.
Apparently not Emma.
No.
So let's move on to SmackDown.
Yeah, move on to SmackDown. And your favourite wrestler couldn't compete on Tuesday night.
No.
And your favourite wrestler being Ellsworth.
Needless to say, I was delighted about this. Needless to say, he couldn't compete, and also AJ was also out.
Yeah.
On Tuesday. But we did see probably the best four-way match I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it was a really good four-way match between Luke Harper, The Miz, Ziggler and Ambrose. Before we come on to that, we'll go on to the Miz TV segment.
Excellent segment. Miz proving again that he's the best heel in the company. We see the normal people come out that you'd expect, Dean, and we see Ziggler follow after Dean and have his say. Then the lights go out.
Yeah, you don't expect.
And the wild card.
Luke Harper to come out.
How good did Luke Harper look? One, in the segment, without saying anything. Two, how good did he look in the match?
He looked phenomenal in the match. I thought he could actually win it. I thought he was going to actually win it. I'll come on to the winner later because I've got some issues concerning that. But Luke Harper, I like that they've put the Freebird rule on to the Wyatt family so he can defend the titles. I like the fact that he's got two titles around his shoulders. He's kind of like the henchman for the Wyatt family. And when Eric Rowan comes back, they'll just be even stronger.
Well, we'll see the return of Eric Rowan, and we've said for a number of weeks we'd like to see a fifth member perhaps. Although I do think the return of Eric Rowan with his new mask unveiling could just about cement the Wyatts as the strongest faction in the WWE.
At the moment.
At the moment. You're going to say until the Shield come back, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, he got it. Until the Shield come back.
It's sort of similar to their music.
No, it's not.
That's not.
I'd like them to introduce the female member, Sister Abigail, and I'd like it to be all black, everything, even Marie. Just to...
Do you know who I would like it to be? And I don't know if she's going to be...
I'd like it to be Paige.
Paige.
I'd like it to be Paige.
I'd like it to be Paige. Although from whatever we hear, her attitude isn't good at the moment.
No, her attitude isn't good. Going on other news, she and Del Rio got in a backstage brawl the other day in Mexico. I think.
Do you think Del Rio put her in the cross-arm breaker? Because I would definitely rate Paige to beat up anybody.
Yeah. She's
really?
got that fiery attitude.
Tough.
She's from England, so
yeah.
She's got that fiery attitude about her.
Yeah. Which is where we're from.
Yeah, but it's where we're from, yeah.
Where we're broadcasting from.
Yeah.
Outside Big Ben. Because that's where all of England's from.
Yeah. London.
So it was interesting to see. We also saw the #1 contenders crowned for the tag team championships.
Yep.
That's been the Hype Bros. Really good match.
Yeah,
and I tell you who looks really good in that battle royal, who I was impressed with. Unfortunately, to say the Ascension.
Yeah, the Ascension.
They look strong. He dumped at one point Chad Gable over the ropes. Jordan got dumped over the ropes by the Ascension. But the Hype Bros, You Ain't Hype, were great.
Yeah.
Although we have seen a little injury perhaps to Zack Ryder.
Yeah, and there are new #1 contenders crowned, I think, because he cannot compete.
Well, talking smack after, we saw the Usos come on and say they wanted to be the #1 contenders. I believe next week we might see Alpha versus the Usos. But I think the Ascension should be inserted into it.
Yeah, I'd like the Vaudevillains because I like Simon Gotch and
I really like them a lot.
They were great in NXT. I think since Simon Gotch got in that little fight with Sin Cara in Battleground or Payback, I think it was, they really haven't been on the hot work for Vince McMahon.
Let me tell you who I think needs to be added to them. Zach Gallagher.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the perfect epitome of a vaudevillain, Zach Gallagher.
Zach Gallagher, Simon Gotch,
Aiden English,
and
the
Aiden English.
Vaudevillains.
That would work.
Yeah, the segment this week on Raw was the fact that he was so polite to announce that he had intentions to interrupt the cruiserweight match and that the very young fellow deserved a thorough thrashing.
And he got a thorough thrashing. And what I'm impressed with most about Zach Gallagher is in such a short time, he's added a new dimension to that cruiserweight division.
He'll be cruiserweight champion soon.
I hope so, because I don't think Rick Swanton's really fulfilling it. We spent a few weeks, sorry to go back to Raw, but we spent a few weeks talking about the feud between Brian Kendricks and TJ Perkins. Yeah. Swan, we haven't really spoken about.
No.
He's a very, very nice wrestler.
Yeah, he is.
He's very, very comfortably over with the fans. But I said they should have held it on Kendrick, and I repeated that.
Yeah, and I think Swan might lose it at Roadblock.
I could see that. I could see he defended it at 205 Live. Then Kendrick beat TJ Perkins to become #1 contender again.
But I will go on Zach Gallagher soon.
Yeah, I'm happy for them to bounce it around for a minute. Develop that cruiserweight division. Let them have. The problem with the heavyweight division, if we take Raw for example, is the only wrestlers we've got are Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins,
Chris Jericho.
Jericho just about.
Yeah.
They haven't let Braun come in. They haven't let Sammy come in.
Not yet.
When
the fact that you've got Sheamus and Cesaro and a tag team
shows what's happened. Going back to SmackDown, off of our really big segue.
Alexa Bliss came out. Becky Lynch then came out, demanded a rematch.
Wow.
The rematch happened, and well, I've never seen someone get over such a painful knee injury like Alexa Bliss.
Amazing how you get over a painful knee injury that quickly. Faking the knee injury, taking out, I can never remember her name. Becky. See, this is a problem. I can never remember people's names. This is the old age. You know, there's 5 years between. How long is it between us?
How old are you?
Almost 30.
I'll take that and insult that you only
28.
think there's 5 years between
28.
us.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
20. 8 years. That's why my old age is working. Becky Lynch, sorry, gets taken out by Alexa. Alexa falling this injury, managing to get the pin, or you get the pin.
No, Alexa run through count out.
Sorry, she limped out the ring, didn't she?
Yeah.
So,
Then she got back in the ring, beat up Becky.
I like her a lot.
Yeah, Alexa's a good wrestler. We've said what the perfect heel is, and the perfect heel is that every fan hates them and wants them to lose, and the perfect face is that every fan wants them to win.
And let me tell you, on Talking Smack.
On Talking Smack, she looked unbelievable.
Amazing.
Doing the segment with Brian.
Amazing. It's really, really good, and Brian seems to like her.
Yeah.
And someone I also want to bring up for Talking
Brian
Smack.
seems to like her. Watch out, Brie.
Let me talk about Talking Smack quickly. Renee Young does a great job hosting that.
Yeah, she does. She also does the After Raw show as well.
But it's not quite the same though, After Raw show, to me. It's not quite the same vibe. So we have the 4-way for the number 1 contendership. What a match.
Yep.
What an amazing match. Some great spots in that match.
If there's one thing Dolph Ziggler can do, that is put up a great match and a great spot for anyone, with anyone.
And sell.
And that's going to be a phenomenal match.
Against the phenomenal
AJ Styles.
I think it's going to be a great match. And I've told you what I think might happen. I think Ziggler's going to win it. I think Ziggler's going to win it. It's going to open up AJ with a chance to place Shawn Michaels, maybe at the Royal Rumble, which we've spoken about briefly. The other match that I want to bring up very quickly, perhaps for the Royal Rumble.
The Heartbreak Kids entrance one more time.
For everything crossed. The match I want to talk about for the Royal Rumble, but I don't think we'll see it till WrestleMania, is, again, I'm putting out there with all my hopes and dreams, The Miz, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, The Miz, Daniel Bryan will happen. It will happen for the IC title as well.
I want The Miz to hold that title for ages. I want him to hold it for just as long as the New Day.
What is it, day 24 of the never-ending
Reign. It seems like the never-ending reign whenever I see Roman Reigns on the screen, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's talk predictions.
But last thing, I'm a bit miffed that Triple H. He announced the United Kingdom Championship and didn't even phone call me.
Didn't call you, didn't call me. I can't understand it.
No, I can't.
Can't understand it. I think it's because you're busy working, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's that I'm too busy working in this gym. But it would have been nice, appreciated, even if he just phoned me up and said, "Oh, sorry mate, you're not available on these days."
Maybe he can hashtag Smacktalking Amigos.
Maybe he can. Hopefully, we can only hope and pray.
Fingers crossed. So, let's talk our predictions for this week at Roadblock. Firstly, Iron Women's match is the first one I want to go for. Talk to me.
We've had this back and forth. Sasha wins it on Raw, Charlotte wins it at the pay-per-view. Charlotte has never lost a pay-per-view since she debuted in WWE. But this will be her first loss to Sasha Banks.
I hate to say I agree with you, but I need to get my titles back. So, I agree with you.
Oh yeah, by the way, the titles will be back next week.
I agree.
Still around my shoulders.
Still around your shoulders. I agree. I think that we will see perhaps Charlotte going 1 or 2-0 up, Sasha coming back and getting the wins.
Bank statement in the last 3 seconds.
Last 3 seconds. There'll be something, or it'll go a bit over. It'll be a draw after 30 minutes of poll and an extra 10 minutes, which would be great. Does Sami Zayn survive the 10 minutes against Braun?
No.
I'm going to go he survives it. I then think that we will see some interference from Mick Foley.
I think you'll see some interference from Mick Foley within the 10 minutes.
So you think the winner's going to be Braun within 10 minutes? I think it's going to be a draw, and I think we'll see something after the 10 minutes.
It just depends who Vince McMahon wants to get over more, Sami or Braun.
I think Sammy's been. I mean, I think he's been getting over plenty with this storyline, but it's geared towards Braun. So you think Braun? I think Sammy. We have the tag team titles. Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, is this where they take off the New Day?
No. I wouldn't. I'd wait till the Royal Rumble to take it off them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Cesaro and Sheamus could build a bit more. They're building very, very nicely, and I think they can afford to carry on building. What other This is the problem, you see. We've got Seth Rollins, Jericho, of course.
We've got Big Cass and Enzo versus Rusev.
2-on-1.
Yeah, 2-on-1.
I've said to you once.
Rusev, Magica.
I've said to you once. I've said to you 1,000 times.
Don't mess with Lana.
Don't mess with Lana. And I think Rusev is in the right.
Yeah.
I like Enzo and Cass a lot. I really do. But
fair play to Enzo. He did try and get away from the hotel room.
Yeah. if you knew Rusev was going to the hotel room, you'd jump out the window.
Yeah. Even if it was 100 stories up.
Absolutely. Without a rope.
Yeah.
I think we'll see Rusev get beat up, and I think it's a bit of a shame because I think he could potentially be shifting his character to a bit of a face for this story.
Yeah, I think he could.
So I think we're going to see a win for Enzo and Cass, and I think it's going to be a bit humiliating for you, Rusev, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Enzo and Cass, with Cass being the main competitor in that one because Matt, I think Cass carries Enzo.
I thought that. Then I saw the segment, and I think Enzo carries Cass in some ways in the mic work.
In the mic work, but in the in-ring work, Cass carries Enzo.
No, definitely. We've got Jericho.
We've got Jericho and Seth freaking Rollins.
This is my prediction for this. I think at some point within the Jericho Rollins match or the Reigns Owens match, we're going to see a reunion. Drink it in, guys. Of Jericho again. They've been split up for far too long. It's been almost 6 days of them not liking each other.
Okay.
Who can hold it? You know, if you and I got in a row for 6 days, after 6 days, I'd come into the gym and you'd say, "Drink it in, man. Best friends.
Drink it in, man.
Drink it in." So I think that we'll see that. I think that we will actually see a Rollins win because I think generally at pay-per-views we see Rollins do very well.
If you are going to set up the Triple H Seth at Rumble, it makes sense for H to interfere at Roadblock. If not, then you are keeping it till Mania.
I've said that I think Rollins is going to be for WrestleMania, and I think we're going to see. We've spoken about the Shield reunion WrestleMania with Triple H, teaming with 2 other wrestlers. I don't know who it'll be.
If H and Rollins happens at WrestleMania, I will hands down say the Shield will reunite at WrestleMania. But this is one of these storylines that H just attacked him at the end of August, and we haven't seen anything from him since.
It could rumble on, and H we haven't seen at all. You know, he's a part-time wrestler now.
He didn't even give me a phone call to say that there was a UK wrestling championship.
He's trying to avoid wrestling entirely. He knew that you would talk it on the hashtag Smacktalking Amigos.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon, Rollins or Jericho? I'm going Rollins.
I'm going with my man Rollins.
Finally. The match was...
The Roman Empire comes back.
I am praying. As much as I prayed, I sat on the edge of my bed this week before SmackDown and I prayed, please don't let James Ellsworth fight for the title. What happens at the beginning of SmackDown? He can't fight. I'm going to sit on my bed and pray Sunday evening after my gig, after I've done my singing. I'm going to sit there and pray. I'm going to say, please, Roman Reigns, come on, we've avoided it for almost a year and a half now. And I'm praying Kevin Owens wins. I'm going for Kevin Owens. I'm going Kevin Owens clean against Roman Reigns.
This is the difficult one because there's only been ever 5 wrestlers to beat Roman Reigns clean. Ever in the WWE. One of them is Dean.
Seth.
Seth.
Cena.
Yeah, Cena's one of them. I think Cesaro is the other one.
And Eva Marie's the 5th.
And Finn Balor's the 5th.
Finn Balor's the 5th.
So, on a very elusive list, does KO get over? But this is the thing, because there's been a massive uproar because he confronted a 7-year-old boy at a house show, still in his gimmick, and he made the boy cry. Did he go a bit too far? Kevin Owens is a fantastic wrestler, phenomenal athlete. He just seems to be getting bigger every time I see him.
He looks fitter as well, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, he does. And his mic work is exceptional. His work with Jericho is easily
the best of the year on Raw.
Yeah. But I'd like to say Roman, but I hold these titles very dear to me, so I have to go with your pick to make sure that you don't win, so I'm going with Kevin Owens.
I feel like I should go for Reigns now and pray for Kevin Owens. Guys, we're the Smacktalking Amigos. It's come up to 31 minutes. We're 1 minute.
And the cruiserweights.
The cruiserweights. Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
Brian Kendrick. Bring it back to us. The Brian Kendrick. The Brian Kendrick.
We're hashtag Smacktalking Amigos, at Smacktalking Amigos. Please follow us. Please leave all your comments below. Any criticism is wanted.
And we're actually tweeting about it quite a lot more now. We even congratulated Alexa Bliss this week.
Yeah, we did. And I will be having some stone words with H on it. Don't you worry.
Peace.